question about whether absolutism is a modernizing force in Europe, whether the monarchies of Europe are themselves modernizers, or whether or not these kings were defenders of some kind of traditional social order. I mean, in part, it's a question about the relationship of the absolutist monarchs to feudalism. In a sort of pure definition of feudal society, a dominant member of a warrior caste makes an exchange of land, a fief, to some lesser member of the warrior caste, who becomes his vassal and pledges loyalty and service in exchange. So there, in this structure, one of these warrior leaders might emerge and claim kingship. But in fact, most kings under this structure are relatively weak. What happens across the space of the Middle Ages and the early modern period is that the monarchs begin to develop quite extraordinary powers in their ability to collect taxes from a broader realm, to exert real control over a vast territory, a space. And in doing so, forcibly, they were necessarily created the kinds of institutions that look modern, bureaucratic forms of government, establishing some kinds of standards for taxation. Now, of course, it was a difficult process. There was often many reversals. But in doing this, the monarchy had to get this power from somewhere. And who does it get the power from? It gets it from other elites, right? So in that sense, the absolutist monarchs are modernizers. They're taking power away from other local elites. They're drawing that power to the capital in Paris. They are, in that system, somehow rationalizing, modernizing, building up the bureaucratic forms of government that are recognizable to us as the institutions of a modern state. On the other hand, though, the monarchs couldn't destabilize the social order. They needed the support of those local elites. And in many ways, and historians have really emphasized this in recent years, we can overstate the case for a modernizing monarchy. At many moments during this history, the monarchy is working very closely to shore up those traditional elites, to collaborate with them, to invite their participation in order to extend and hold on to power. And there is a kind of central contradiction between these two roles. Modernizing the state means building it up, building an army, and the pressures to do so were enormous. It demands cash. They have to do it. They need the money to do it. But the source of money itself came from the very traditional elites whose cooperation they needed. And somehow that contradiction needed to be bridged or balanced by the monarchies. In Eastern Europe, in Prussia, or in Peter the Great's reign in Russia, the monarchy does quite a good job of assimilating the aristocracy into the institutions of this state structure that it's building. In France, on the other hand, the conflict between the traditional elites and the monarchy grows ever more intense, and many people see this as one of the factors leading to the French Revolution.